What's up, my friend? Abby here, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Abby, where I answer your writing questions and help you make your story matter. In case you're new around here and you're not sure how this works, here's the deal. You ask me questions and I show up here once a month on YouTube to answer those questions. And there are two ways to submit questions to this show. The first way is to hit the join button below this video, get inside the YouTube community and post your questions in the community tab on the Ask Abby post. The second way is to go to patreon.com/Abbie Emmons and get inside the Inner Circle Facebook group and post your questions there. Just make sure you hashtag it AskAbbie so that I see it. Okay, some great questions came in over the past month and I'm really excited to answer those. So roll that intro and let's get started.
Why does your story matter? Good question. What if I told you that there's a science behind every great story? I don't just teach you how to write. I teach you how to change the world with your story and make your author dreams come true.
Okay, first question comes from Daniel. How do you work 3 or 4 point of view storylines into a seamless whole? This is a really good question and a question that I get a lot. The first question to ask yourself here is, what do all of these points of view have in common? What is the story that they all share? The best time to work this out is during the outlining process, in my opinion. This is when I work it out, is I figure out what do all of these story threads have in common? Because they all should interweave naturally and support the same story, even though you're looking at the story from different perspectives. So during the outlining process, it's a great opportunity to get sort of an omniscient view of everything as the author and understand where you should focus the reader's attention and when. As a reader and a consumer of story, I notice that when a story flows seamlessly with multiple narrators or multiple points of view, it's always when the story is moving forward, it's progressing in every single point of view. So every scene we get, every new perspective we get is progressing the story forward. So we're not pausing one character's story to go see another character who's totally unrelated. They are related to the story. They are directly relevant. And seeing their side of the story actually moves the story forward. So the flow doesn't stop. Now, sometimes it will be necessary to hit the pause button on what's happening right now in this location with this character to either go somewhere else or flash back to the past, maybe see something that's happened in the past. But every time you do that, it still has to be relevant to what's happening right now. So this is what I challenge myself to when I'm outlining with multiple points of view. I ask myself, how can I make every single point of view feel seamless and relevant? How can I make it feel like inevitable because of what just happened and because of where the story is going after this? My main goal is to keep moving the story forward, keep moving the plot forward, keep the internal conflict progressing, no matter whose point of view I'm in. Next question comes from Kathy. I quit/took a break from writing. It's been about a month now. I wanted to step back and get a look at my manuscript as a whole. I've decided that pretty much everything is wrong with it, but mostly I figured out that my MC doesn't have internal conflict. He likes his life. Also, I'm not finding any incentive to get back to the keyboard, which is kind of scary as I've wanted to be a writer for decades. Now that I have been pursuing a writing career, it feels really good. I have a lot of plot bunnies to take up after this one. I'm a 9 with a wing of 1. Any advice? Am I burnt out? How do I get excited again? Okay. Rest time is super important. And I know you say that you took a step back, you took about a month of relaxation and just kind of stepping back from your work in progress, which is so good because rest is productive. And this is something that I forget a lot of times. I am a very type A, classic Enneagram 1, and I want to be constantly doing. And a lot of times I see rest as unproductive, but that is not true. It is productive because it is time to fill your cup, to refill your cup, to find inspiration, to reconnect with those things that make us passionate to create. Because all creation has to come from a place of passion, a place of desire. So how do you find your joy again? How do you get excited about this again? My advice would be to play with writing, to enjoy it, to find the fun Okay, whatever that means to you. And that might mean working on something different for now. Okay, you say that you have a lot of different plot bunnies, maybe pick up one of those. I know that you're focused on this one work in progress in particular. You want to finish it. I get that feeling. I've been there, but sometimes it's just not working. And sometimes I have to put a work in progress aside because I'm just not feeling creative. I'm not feeling passionate about it anymore. And I know that if I put it aside and I return to it later with a different mindset and new perspectives and maybe some new inspiration, I can make it something really great. But I have made the mistake before of forcing myself to work on projects that I'm not that passionate about, and they don't turn out right in the end. And later I kind of regret the time that I spent laboring over it, because I could have set it aside and I could have come back with better inspiration, with new perspectives, and made it something that I really love. But now it's kind of a hot mess, right? That I have to disentangle and piece back together again. And you can avoid all of that by simply following your creativity, following your passion. I like to call this chasing butterflies, chasing the butterflies of creativity. Maybe you get a new idea and you're really excited about it, but you think, oh, that has to go on the back burner because I'm focusing on this one right now and I can't get distracted. Well, maybe you need to get distracted. If it's something that is productive and creative and actually going to improve your skills as a writer, maybe you need to chase that butterfly. Think about that. Now, if you're like, no, Abbie, no way, I'm going to do this. I am determined to fix this project, to fix everything that's wrong with it, and to make it work. I understand that feeling. I do. So if you want to go with that option, my suggestion would be to dig deeper into your character's internal conflict. Because if you don't care deeply about the main character, and if you're not aching to tell their story because they are so conflicted and they are going to go on this journey and you're so excited for the journey that they're going on, if you don't have that spark, you won't want to show up and write it. You just won't. How can you make them struggle with misbeliefs that maybe you hadn't thought of before? How can you change things up so that you can get excited about it again? Just try new things. Explore, play, do something that you have never tried before, or draw inspiration from some of your favorite stories that you find yourself continually going back to and getting inspired by. Well, what is that specific thing about that story that makes you so inspired? What is it that sticks with you? What is it about your top 5 favorite characters of all time? What is it about their journeys that makes you fall in love with them? Think about that, study that, and if you want to dig deeper into studying stories, I have a whole story study guide in this video that I think will help you a lot. Okay, next question is from Ariana. I think one of my biggest fears is producing a garbage first book. I mean, I know that inevitably almost everyone's first book ever published are usually pretty bad, but I feel like I'm more worried about not wanting to write a second one after getting horrible reviews and people telling me that my book is horrible and that I shouldn't even try. How do you overcome this? Okay, so this is definitely a very real struggle that a lot of writers face. The fear of rejection, the fear of bad reviews. And it doesn't matter if you aren't personally rejected by a publishing house. If you publish your own book independently and you get negative reviews, that can be depressing. If you're worried about getting bad reviews, let me tell you right now, you will get bad reviews, regardless of how good or bad your book is. Every single book on the planet gets criticized by readers, sometimes brutally. All you can do is your best. That's literally all you can do. You can only do your best. Don't let the fear of this, don't let fear of anything stop you from going after the life that you want. If this is what you're passionate about, if you can see yourself being a published author and you want nothing but that for your life, you can have that, but you have to fight the fear. And if you're gonna be a published author, you have to get something out there. You have to push yourself, get outside your comfort zone, put something out there, put yourself out there. Yes, it will be scary. Yes, you will feel vulnerable. Yes, you will get some bad reviews. You will get some people criticizing it, not liking it, pointing out everything that they think is wrong with it, but you will also have people who love it. people who this book transforms their lives and it touches their soul in a way that nothing else has. And they'll write to you and tell you this, and your mind will be blown. It's such a cool feeling to get personal letters and emails and messages from people, from readers who have brought your book into their life and been emotionally positively impacted by it. And to me, that is so fulfilling that it totally cancels out, it drowns out all of the negative voices. Every negative review I've ever had on any of my books, I cannot even hear those negative voices over the uproar of beautiful, positive reviews and words that I've received in response to my books. And that is so fulfilling to me. That is why I do it. If I'm able to positively impact one person's life with what I write, I consider it a success. So do your best. Get beta readers, get trusted beta readers to read your book and give you valuable feedback. Implement that feedback. Do some rewrites, do some revisions, do some edits yourself, but also get a professional editor, get a professional proofreader, get ARC readers. And once you go through all those, every step of that process, your book is gonna be really solid, okay? And if you're afraid of, oh, I'm not gonna feel confident enough to write a second one once the first one's out there, I get it. I have felt the same way about series writing. That's why I would recommend writing the first draft at least of as many books as you can think of right now, and having a small inventory of books that you can polish up and improve upon, but they've already been written. At least the first draft has been written. You don't have to agonize over, is this good enough? Can I still write? Can I write better? You don't have to second guess yourself with those words in the back of your mind of the people that you read their reviews. Another thing that I'd recommend is just don't read reviews. If you get negative reviews after the fact and you've already done all of these things, you've already done your best to make this something that you're proud of, don't let those negative voices knock you down. Don't even read positive reviews. I mean, you can read positive reviews sometimes, but don't give other people the power to make you happy or make you sad. Okay, do not give others the power to drag you down or even to lift you up. Yes, positive reviews can be very exciting and very inspiring, but when you begin to depend on them sort of as a life support for your creativity, it's become a toxic relationship, even with positive reviews. Okay, so the amount of positive or negative reviews you receive should not determine your self-worth ever, as a person or as a creative. If you write a book that you're proud of and you do everything you can to make it the best it can be and you put it out in the world, it is going to positively impact people's lives. And that's all that matters. Seriously, that's all that matters. Okay, last question is from Cassandra. Lately, I have been in the writing groove and feeling pretty good about each session. But what do you do when you have a writing session that just makes you feel like you want to quit writing? So this happens to me all the time. This happens to me like every few weeks. I have just a really bad writing day or a bad writing week, or a couple of days that are just not creative at all. And it's funny because this happens over and over again, yet every time it happens, I'm like, what if I just can't write anymore? What if I can never write again? It's stupid, it's completely irrational, but I understand the struggle is real. So prepare yourself for it. You know it's gonna happen, you know you're gonna have bad writing days, and when those days come along, don't let them freak you out. Don't let them rule your life. When I have a bad writing day, I just don't write. I do something else. I have other things that I know I'm good at, that I know I need to get done, that are fun and creative, that I know I can sit down and do this and have a finished product. I try to find like a handful of those things and have them always available to me. If I have a bad writing day, I can switch over and do something that I know I can do and feel good about. So have something that you can do that's productive, that you know you're good at, that is maybe creative and playful, but it's fulfilling. And it can get you back in the right mental headspace. Remind yourself that you are a good writer. You're just not having a good writing day. So be prepared for bad days. Have a bad day resource kit at the ready that you can go and do something else. You can find joy and find creativity and remind yourself that you are fabulous and talented and gifted and skilled, but you just need a break. Okay, boom, that's it. Fantastic questions, guys. Thank you so much for submitting these questions. I hope you got value out of my replies. If you would like me to answer your question here on YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the join button below this video, get inside the YouTube community, or go to patreon.com/Abbie Emmons, get inside the Inner Circle group and post your question there. Just make sure you hashtag it AskAbbie so that I see it, and maybe next time I will answer your question. Smash that like button if you liked this video, and be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I post writing videos every single Wednesday, and I would love to have you here in the community. Until next week, my friend, rock on. 10,000 word days that some writers have, which is fine if that's how you like to work. But I was thinking about how this is really the only art form where we glorify doing it quickly.
That's a great point.
Like, I was racking my brain for another art form, because painting, okay,
were you thinking about this in the museum?